listeners, Happy New Year again. I'm Ronnie, and you're watching my top 10 South Korean film list. There are a few South Korean movies that I have not watched, which are probably very meaningful of this year, like The Last Princess and Dongju, the portrait of a poet. I'd like to see that as soon as possible, but there are other movies of this year that I liked most in South Korea, from South Korea, and there are my number 10 is The Tunnel. The Tunnel is directed by Kim Seon Hoon. Kim Seon Hoon. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. It stars with Ha Jong Woo and Dong by Donna. And This is a story of a guy who's stuck in a tunnel collapse, and it's a disaster movie, but has lots of thriller element in it, as well as it is also a movie that shows a lot of elements such as politics that happens when rescuers come and rescue the person. It's an unbelievable survival story of a guy who was held out there for long times, and there's in the film there's a pug uh, who is stuck with that guy as well, and I absolutely love pugs, so that's one of the other reason I like this movie. And this movie reminded me of a few other films like 128 Hours of Danny Boyle, which is one of my favorite films of Danny Boyle. Uh, this movie had its moment and pretty well acted. I thought some of the direction was super, as well as the editing and the cinematography looked fantastic. So you guys must check out this film. It's one of the best films of 2016 from South Korea, and it has been a top grossing one of the top grossing films in the box office of South Korea. My number nine would be Renegades, sorry, Time Renegades, directed by Kwak Jao Young, and it starts with Song Jung, Jo Jang Suk, and Lee Jin Hook. Um, Again, I ask for forgiveness if I've said or pronounced it wrongly. This is a time period movie. Two stories parallelly goes. One in 1983, another one is in present time, about a crime that is going to happen. The two leads of two different time, um, they can see each other's life, and they can get the feedback from each other, and how they stop a crime being happen. Especially in 1983, um, the music professor, um, he loves another fellow teacher. She gets involved in a spot brother, or in a crime scenario, and how he tries to save his beloved one, and how that links up to the present time. So I like the concept of the movie a lot, because I do like movies about time traveling, movies about science fiction, and this movie had a very interesting storyline, two parallel storyline meeting at one place, and interacting with each other, which is fantastic for me. I felt the direction was pretty good, as well as the other technical aspects of the film. There are flaws on the movie as well, but I'm not going to talk a lot in this section. I'll probably do a separate film review for that. Um, for me, number eight is A Violent Prosecutor. Um, the film starts with Wang Jungmin, who is a very famous actor in South Korea, as well as Kang Dong-won. I've seen him first time. He looks pretty impressive as an actor as well. It's directed by Lee Yeol-hoon. Um, Violent Prosecutor is a story about a prosecutor who got trapped into a murder in a crime scene. They're protesters for environment, and they don't want certain construction to take place. And one of them got caught, and this prosecutor goes to interrogate him. And after he leaves the guy, um, after the interrogation, the guy was found dead, and he was convicted, the prosecutor, because he's known for his violent way of taking the information from in an interrogation, and then how he manages to dig out the truth, because he was he was put into jail, and how the other actor, Kang Dong Won, helps him out. So it's a this is a kind of buddy movie. Like, one guy is tough, one guy is not so tough, one guy is funny, one guy is super serious. As well as there's some mystery element in the film, and I like the acting of Wang Jungmin. Whatever he does so well. My pick of number seven would be The Age of Shadows. Um, The Age of Shadows is directed by famous Korean director Kim Ji-yoon. I like his film. I liked his previous movies, such as I Saw the Devil, The Good, the Weird. Sorry, The Good, the Bad, and the Weird, and like The Tale of the Two Sisters, and other films he has done. Um, but this movie is not at the same level of those great films he has done, especially if I Saw the Devil. Um, this film is set up in Japanese occupation of Korea, where the lead man, Song Kang-ho, he plays a Japanese cop, Korean, but he is a Japanese cop, as well as Gong Yu and his other friends who were trying to make a revolution against Japanese occupation. Um, Seeks help from Song Kang Ho, and how he helps out, and how brutality of Japanese occupation were revealed, and why um, the motive of the entire revolution was so important from Korean's perspective. This movie talks about it. This is a very good movie. It is sent to the Oscar from South Korea as an official selection um, for the foreign film language category, and it didn't make it to the final list. Though it is a very good movie, but not great. By going Kim Ji-yoon's other work, this movie is okay or good, but it's not great. Moving into number six is Spirit's Homecoming. Spirit's Homecoming is another film of Japanese occupation during Second World War in Korea. This is a remarkable film in terms of this is probably one of the first film that we saw that Japanese soldiers were taking Korean girls, who were underage girls, for sex as a sex slave during Second World War. and they were taking the girls from rural areas. And this movie depicts those girls, how they have lived the hell of Japanese soldiers' camp, and they served as obviously it is very uncomfortable in terms of some of the scenes, but at the same time, it's very touchy and emotional film. Um, this film, there's a very interesting story about this film. The director, I believe his name is Cho Chang Rei. He went to see one of the paintings of the survivor of such of the actual crime that happened by Japanese to the Korean girls, underage girls or kids. One of the survivor had a painting, and he find out about the truth or the incidents, and then he decided to make a movie. There was no fund at all, and South Korean people have crowdfunded and made this movie. So this is very important movie for South Korea. Very emotional movie and very touching film for any viewer in the world, and it is incredible in terms of music and the background score, acting, some of the location, and some of the true horrific, brutal rapes that has happened with some Korean girls at that time of Second World War. Moving into number 5 is The Beauty Inside. The Beauty Inside is technically 2015 film, was released in South Korea in 2015, but in outside the Blu-ray and the DVD has been released on 2016, so technically it can be seen as a 2016 film. Same can be talked about The Inside Man, but The Inside Man is more of 2015 film. This film, The Beauty Inside, is a very strange story. It's directed by Bang Bak Jong-woo. It's starring Han Hyo-jo. I'm sorry again, and lots of other actors. This film is a romantic film, but it is also a fictional movie. It talks about a guy who has an uncanny ability to change his body every time he wakes up from sleep. So he wakes up as a new person every day, and it could be different gender, different race, different age. So he goes to sleep, he wakes up as a different person, and he's struggling with that. His family is struggling with that. His mother is struggling with that. His friends are struggling with that. He has lots of personal problem due to that because people doesn't reckon him or doesn't identify him, doesn't talk to him. He's a very lonely person, but he met a girl, and he falls in love. Um, he wanted to go and talk to her, but he can't because of his situation, because he doesn't have an identity um, or has a face that holds at least 2 days. Um, and how that love story goes about and what kind of problem that creates in his life and the life of the girl, and how they find peace with it. Um, it's an incredible story of the beauty inside. I recommend you guys should check this film out. My number 4 would be The Train to Busan. The Train to Busan is a zombie film, uh, and it's directed by Yeon Sung-ho, starring Gong Yoo and Ma Dong Seok and others. Um, Whenever I first heard about Train to Busan and a zombie film, the first thing it reminded me is World War Z of Brad Pitt. And I'm not a big fan of zombie movies, but this movie has been something else. This is probably the finest zombie movie ever made in the last 10, 15 years, or even more than that. Um, Train to Busan had been released in June, I believe, June or July in US and Canada, and people all over liked it. It has great story, and the character development of especially Gong Yu, who plays a workaholic father, and at the end of the film, he wants to save his kid from this zombie attack. And performances of the little girl and others have been phenomenal. This is the first film of Yeon Song Ho um, as a live film. He made some animation before it. This is the first time he has taken non-animation film, and he has incredibly well. The storytelling, the way the emotion and the social commentary has been used in the film in the entire journey from Seoul to the train to Busan has been phenomenal. So I'd like to do a separate film review for this, but do check this out if you haven't seen it yet. It's one of the finest zombie movie ever made. Uh, my third film from South Korea of 2016 is The Handmaiden. The Handmaiden is directed by acclaimed director Park Chan-wook, starring Kim Min-hee, Ha Jung-woo, and Kim Tae-ri. Ha Jung-woo and Kim Tae-ri, and this movie is about. I've done a review, although the review was not the greatest, uh, but still, I could do a bit of synopsis. This film is about a lady who's Japanese, a lady Hidoko. She gets a maid. The maid gets attracted to her and wanted to save her, while a conman comes into the life of the lady Hidoko to get the money or wealth by marrying her, and how three persons' perspective, along with Lady Hidoko's uncle's perspective, who's a very lusty guy and a very perverted guy, how the perspective of everyone's emerges and their conflicts of personal interest intersects. This is an adaptation of The Fingersmith by Park Chan-wook, and he has done such a wonderful work. If you can overlook some of the explicit element and even some of that element as well, within that element as well, the movie is mind-blowing. There are three parts of the movie, and each part draws your attention. Um, I'm not going to talk about too much about the movie. Probably I need to go back to the movie and explain it a bit more. Please check out The Handmaiden. This, if you haven't seen, it's one of the finest film of this year. My number two pick would be the Asura, the City of Madness. This is a crime thriller, political crime thriller. If you like action films, if you like political thriller, if you like violent film, this one is for you, with very good story and great casting. I mean, the casting is incredible of this film. This film starts with Jung Woo-sung, Wang Jung-min, Ju Ji-hoon, and Kwak Do-won. Kwak Do-won has been a revolution in 2016. He has done very good work, as well as Wang Jung-min. He plays a negative shade in this movie. The lead character, Jung Woo-sung, he plays a cop who has who is basically plays both ways, in terms of he has very good relation with the mayor, played by Wang Jungmin, and he plays as the right hand of mayor. Mayor is not a great person; he's a political guy. He's corrupted, um, and he does lots of work that is not supposed to be done by him. But as a politician, he does those work. Jung Woo-sung has a wife, ill wife. He needs some money. He works for mayor as well as he's a police. He's a cop. Um, and Kwak Do plays the prosecutor, and he traps our main guy Jung Woo-sung, and our main guy Jung Woo-sung's character is in a bit of confusion where he should go, how he can get out of the trap, and what happens next. This movie is really well shot in terms of action. It's a madness in terms of action. There is a car chasing scene in the movie. I've not seen a better car chase in this year in any film of anywhere. This is probably the finest car chase scene I've seen in this movie. Um, the action, realistic, gritty, and violent. Especially the climax is probably any, it's not even comparable. But if you like the movies of Quentin Tarantino's violence, those movies like The Hateful Eights and stuff like that are nowhere near to the violence of this movie. This is a brutal and violent film. And I think Jung Woo-sung as well as Wang Jungmin, Kwak Do, everyone had acted very well. The director Kim Sung-soo has done a very good job of telling a story and having such a great star cast and get their best out of them, which was great. My number one film of 2016 from South Korea is The Wailing, or The Goksang. Um, it's directed by Na Hong Jin. I've done a non-spoiler review of this film, and I didn't want to give up anything. Same here, I don't want to give up anything here. This film currently holds 98% fresh rating in Rotten Tomatoes. Go and see this film. This is not a jump scary movie that you see in Hollywood horror films or Western horror films. This film is like a slow poison. It sets you up, it sets your tone, and then it leaves you thinking about it. The climax of the film, I've seen this film probably 3 times. Still, the first time I saw, after 4 months, I couldn't even stop thinking about the movie. The impact this film has, and Na Hong Jin, his previous 2 films have been masterclass. This one is masterclass. Um, I don't know how this guy does this, but you know what? Go and check this film out. I can't forget about this film. I can't forget, especially the look of Kunimura Jun, who plays the Japanese guy, and again the duo from Asura, the City of Madness. Kwak Do plays the main guy here in the Wailing, as well as Wang Jungmin plays a Saman guy here. So please check this movie out. I don't want to reveal anything about the movie if you haven't seen it. Um, Check this movie. This is probably the finest film I've seen um, in a long time of supernatural genre. I hope you guys like the top 10 list. This is my personal opinion about the top 10 films. There are other films as well. You should check out, as I've said, The Last Princess is one of them. Um, and Dongju, the Portrait of a Poet. I should check out those films as well. But overall, these are the films that you guys should watch, and let me know how you guys liked it. And if you have any kind of second thought, please don't hesitate to share. And if you like the content of the channel, please subscribe and make sure that I get more interesting stuff if I can. Thank you.